So, on today's episode of the Proposal Warrior, I'm going to be interviewing a nice young lady by the name of Imani, who is an African yoga teacher. And I'm just going to be asking her a few questions on her African yoga business and how she feels that during the lockdown, how it's affected people both mentally and physically. And yeah, if she can give any advice to people that are suffering from any mental illness and how the yoga can help them. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Imani. So thanks again, Imani, for coming on my podcast. So for people that don't know what African yoga is, can you explain to them what it is?
Good rising to you, Chidi. Hotep, meaning peace, tranquility, and serenity. So within the Indian system, they would say namaste. Within the African yoga system, we say Hotep. So Hotep to you. And thank you for inviting me here. As I said earlier, I cannot stay as long as I'd like to today, but I look forward to our interview. So please, can you repeat the first question that you asked? You want to know a little bit about African yoga first?
Yeah, so for people that don't know what African yoga is, can you please explain what African yoga is?
I will. So the original name for yoga before it was called yoga is Smai Tawi. Smai Tawi. Smai means union. Yep. And Tawi means the two lands. So we look to ancient Egypt, and ancient Egypt back in the days was called Kemet.
Okay.
So the yoga that I teach is called Kemetic Yoga or African Yoga. They're one of the same things. So yoga itself, of course, yoga is a very popular word today for obviously thousands of years and so on. So we say yoga. And we use the word yoga. And some people will still use the word smai. I'm going to my smai class, smai meaning yoga. So the origins of yoga has come from ancient Kemet, has come from Egypt. When we see the, what people call like the hieroglyphics, but the ancient Kemites or Kemetic people called it the Medunetta. So those icons on the walls, on the reliefs of Egypt, all of those positions and postures, they all represent yoga postures.
Okay.
They all represent yoga postures. What else can I say? Yeah, yoga means the union of mind, body, and soul, or mind, body, and spirit. So we're always working towards balancing those three areas: your mind, your body, and your soul or your spirit. We're working towards that, working as a trinity, working in balance and working in harmony, so that we can just be the best that we can be physically and mentally.
Okay, so my next question to you is, so for all them people out there that are like, oh, yoga's just, yoga's not for me because, it's not with, with my religion. It doesn't, conform to my religion. Yoga's, I heard that yoga is all about praying to the sun and praying to this. For all those skeptics out there that don't believe in yoga, what would you say?
I would say that yoga is for all beings. Yoga is for everyone, and we can all benefit from yoga physically, mentally, and spiritually. The argument that yoga conflicts with people's religions, I often hear that. And when I actually ask the people what do they mean, they're not really clear about what they mean. We sometimes as humans have a habit of just repeating something that we've heard and not delving into what it actually means and what the origins are. So they will say, for example, or it's been said to me by Christians or by Jehovah's Witness, my pastor has said that yoga is not good for me. It allows the devil to come into my mind. It conflicts with my religion. I pray to another God and so on. And I just let them know very clearly, there's no praying in yoga. There's no conflict with anybody's religion. It's non-religious. It's not a religious practice. It's a spiritual practice. It's a practice for yourself, helping you to be the best that you can. The most important part of yoga is breath work. So we connect with ourselves through our breath. Lots of people do not breathe properly, and that can develop problems with breathing, basically, and lungs, not having clean, healthy lungs through lack of breathing properly. We need to be taught how to breathe. All the postures, we're not looking at the moon and the sun, etc., the universe as gods, but we're acknowledging that we need the moon, and we need the sun and the air and the wind. In African yoga, we thank those elements. We thank the universe. We thank the elements, the wind, fire, etc., because we recognize without any one of these elements, there's no life. So we don't see it as a god or a goddess or anything like that. We just know that if there was no more air in the world, there was no more wind, there was no more sun, water, etc., then that's the end of life. Any one of those elements goes, then life as we know it ends. So in African yoga, we most definitely acknowledge all of those elements. We move like those elements, and we thank those elements. And I'm very happy for that. There is no any other system that acknowledges the elements as we do in African yoga. So a very strong part of African yoga is just generally African spirituality as well.
Okay, and my final question, because I know you need to go. For anyone that wants to get in touch with you or come on one of your tours or just have an experience with you either doing yoga or massage, because I know you deal with massage as well, how can people get in contact with you?
I do not have a website. I do not have Instagram. I'm an oldie. A lot of what I do is really word of mouth. The classes that I teach in London, the students know what I do, and we have an annual Ghana yoga tour to Ghana, where the whole aim is to, through education, yoga, meditation, relaxation, we go to discover Ghana. We tour Ghana for 10 full days and get inspired and get healing in the heat. So the best I could do really would be to leave my email address for anybody that has interests, and then they can contact me and I will send them information from there. So do I leave that with you now?
Yeah, so if you forward me all the information, and then when I put this on the podcast, I will link all your information onto.
Wonderful, wonderful. And can I just say very briefly before I go as well, a big part of my yoga, African yoga, Kemetic yoga, is teaching everybody. It really is all inclusive, and those are not just words. I've taught people with a variety of disabilities, variety of mental health issues, and so on. Yoga should be made accessible to all, and my yoga is accessible to all people. And it's tailored to meet your own limitations. And disability or not, we all have different limitations. So we work with what we've got, not with what we do not have.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Imani.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, hope to speak to you again soon. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, listeners.